So what ROI, return on investment, or yield do you really get on your buy-to-let investment? If you have a target yield in mind, or if you have a formula that you use to work this out, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below with how you work this out. The most common way that people use to work out what the yield is on a property they're looking to buy is taking the gross rents and dividing it by the purchase cost of the property. In the example on the screen, if I'm looking to buy a property which commands rents of £18,000 and the purchase cost is £300,000, then in my mind I've worked out that I'm making a yield of 6%. However, there's a problem with that. The problem is that it doesn't include the direct costs of purchasing the property and the direct costs of renting the property. So what do I mean by direct costs of purchase? Well, when you buy a property, there are other associated costs over and above the amount that you've agreed to buy the property for. Most notably, and a large chunk of this, is stamp duty. Particularly with the additional 3% surcharge, stamp duty is quite an additional amount over and above the cost of the property. In addition to that, there are solicitors' costs, there might be a finder's fee, so you might have paid a sourcer to source the property for you. You might have incurred the cost of a structural survey, any mortgage fees which are not added to the loan, and any direct professional fees incurred. And remember to include the VAT as well, because that's not something that you can recover if you're buying residential property. So what are the direct costs of renting a property? Well, when you rent a property, most likely if you're not managing yourself, you'll be getting an agent to manage it. And the agent will be charging around 10 to 15% of the rent on a monthly basis. So you won't actually get 100% of the rent that the tenant pays. You actually get the gross amount less the agent fees, less any insurances, less any service charge that you might have to pay if it's a leasehold property. When looking at the yield on the cash outlay on your capital invested, you need to also take into account any cash that's gone into renovation works or refurbishment works to get the property into a fit state for renting. So actually, what figure you should be looking at is the net yield. And the net yield is worked out by the net rents divided by the net purchase cost to give you a net yield. If you also wanted to know what your yield on capital invested was, then that would be your net rents, less your finance costs, interest paid on a loan, divided by your cash outlay. We've developed a calculator in-house, which you'll see on the screen, where you can type in the property information, whether it's a commercial property or a residential property, how much cash you're putting in to fund the purchase and how much you're getting in rent, how much you're carrying in refurbishment costs. The calculator will automatically work out your stamp duty. You would then put in all the various other direct purchase costs that you would incur. You then put in any agent's fees that you may have agreed to pay, insurances, service charges, your finance costs, the interest rates you've managed to get on your buy-to-let loan. It will work out the amount of tax relief you get on your interest, and it will then give you the simple gross yield out calculation and compare that with the net yield. And you'll see in this particular example that we did, there's a big difference between the net yield and the gross yield, which may then trigger you to say, actually, that's not sufficient for me. I need to go back and renegotiate the purchase price. A very useful tool to have. And I'm happy to share this with you completely free of charge. All you need to do is ask for a copy in the comments below and tag anyone else who might find it valuable too. I hope you found that useful. Thank you for watching and speak to you next time. Bye for now.